What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. Got another interesting develop in the saga of Black Myth Wukong. Something I wasn't expecting, but is not a bad thing. In fact, it's actually sort of funny. But let's just regroup so we're all on the same page here. Back in June is when I first started hearing about this, when it was reported that Black Myth Wukong, the developers, at least over there, Game Science, had refused to have a consultancy company work for them. If not Sweet Baby Inc., exactly something just like them. And because of that, they were going to be getting hit pieces, and we've seen many hit pieces on them, notably from IGN. This happened back at the end of 2023. But we've seen GameSpot and a couple other people also. And it all comes down to them saying that the developers are sexist and against women, misandry, whatever, all the things, misogynist. Misandry is the other version of it. But really, when this was all looked into, it turns out that a lot of the things they said, a lot of them were, if not a little spicy, even when you take everything into account, they were colloquialisms. They were jokes, and they were things that once translated and adapted to what you and I might say in our vernacular, not that bad. Even just a little based. GameSpot, of course, going on. But like I said, here's Asmongold and others that, like I said, when you translate it and you account for local idioms, they were not as bad as it turns out to be. And so people are liking it. And that brings us to this. Because people are liking it, that means they're playing it. And I'm going to assume this is referring to people that got early review copies. But you can see here, this ultimately is something shared by Legal Mindset. But Game Science has reportedly banned content creators who were given a game key from including politics and feminist propaganda, among other things, in the content surrounding their game. So here's Legal Mindset. Black Myth Wukong explicitly banning feminist propaganda, amongst other things. Thoughts. So here is the legal document that has been leaked or given to him. So Black Myth Wukong, notice: by using the game key and creating content, you acknowledge that you have been informed of the following content, and your statements are not related to the marketing team. So here's the do's and don'ts. Do enjoy the game. Don't. So do not insult other influencers or players. I agree. Do not use any offensive language or humor. Well, if I couldn't use offensive language or humor, I wouldn't have a channel. So probably not. I don't agree with that one. But okay, that's not horrible. Fine. I'm not a complete cretin. I can do maybe a review without swearing. The offensive part, well, that's the eye of the beholder. Do not include politics, violence, nudity, feminist because there's a lot of different types of propaganda, feminist propaganda, fetishizations, and other content that instigates negative discourse. Interesting. Do not use trigger words such as quarantine or isolation or COVID-19. I mean, notably, we were going around calling it the COOF for algorithmic purposes. If you ever wonder why we say certain things, it's because the AI algorithm will pick it up for subtitles, and it just helps. It just helps to say COOF and other fun things like that. Instead of World War II villains, we say Yahtzees, or the World War II villains. We don't actually say the name. Do not discuss content related to China's game industry policies, opinions. Now, obviously, the last two I do understand, because quarantine, isolation, COVID. Oh boy. Remember the videos of them locked down in their own buildings and screaming? It sounded like prison. Horrible. And then the game industry policies, opinions, use. That seems, but it is funny that feminist propaganda and the fetish thing and all that is in their it's in their don't of review. And yeah, either way, I don't think this is going to change anyone's opinion, because that first article back in June was explaining that it had already jumped to the #1 on the Steam charts. That's back in June. We're in August, and it is still #1 on the Steam charts. You can see they released their benchmarking tool, which everyone seems to be loving, a tool that lets you download it, set what graphics you're going to be playing the game at, and then it benchmarks or shows you what your frames per second will be. Over 85,000 people have downloaded it. You can see here that they had 2,000. It was the other day, but they had 2,000, almost 3,000 people concurrently doing it, and almost 100,000 peaking at 85. Like, probably more at this point. Yeah, I don't know. it's pretty impressive. So still number one, pretty impressive. Let me know what you think about this. I just find it funny that it's specifically feminist propaganda, and I'm wondering exactly what that would entail. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you.
Well, bye.